Thank you. Hi. It's a huge honor to be here. My question is about relationship, and the thing that I'm hung up on is how to forgiveness. When people did really...
Well, here's the thing. We've never forgiven anyone because we've never gotten ourselves into that bind to begin with. Forgiveness is where you try to take something back. So we're just going to play with you a little bit so that you can really understand what you're asking. Let's say something happened and you had a knee-jerk response to it and you felt some way about it, some normal way, some perfectly normal way. But in feeling that way, it feels bad to you because your inner being didn't take the same course of thought. So you went off on some rampage that your inner being didn't go on, and that's why you feel this discomfort. So if you can not continue to reactivate that thought, that vibration will cease to exist within you. If you want a literal definition of what forgiveness really is, or what it must be, it's no longer offering the vibration that splits you between you and your inner being. And so really it doesn't have anything to do with the object of your original uncomfortable determination of wrongdoing. Forgiveness isn't about getting over it. It's about not keeping it active and returning to your natural state of alignment. Your inner being isn't asking of you. Your inner being isn't saying to you, you must think every thought exactly the way we think it. Did you hear that? But your inner being is saying you must be true to your own desires. If life caused you to ask for it, you can't contradict it and be in alignment, because when life caused you to ask for it, your inner being went with it. Your inner being expanded because of what you asked for. Your inner being became it. And now you can't deny it. You've got to become it too. Ooh, are you making the connection? So your inner being isn't asking you to think every thought about everything that your inner being thinks, but your inner being is asking you to be in alignment with what you've asked about. You've got to be true to your own expansion, or you will not feel good. What is the word or the emotion that describes the opposite of forgiveness? Judgment, pushing against, determination that someone or something is wrong. So when you feel that emotion, just know that what's happening is you're depriving yourself of who you really are for no good reason. And when you stop doing that, your vibration will rise. You'll be back in sync again. And let's just call that forgiveness. Letting go of the discordant thought that separates me from source is what forgiveness is. Letting go of the discordant thought that separates me from who I really am. And so that's why we play with you and we say we've never forgiven, because we have not separated ourselves with a discordant thought from who we are. It's easy for us. We are not out on the leading edge like you are, where people are misbehaving. So is that helpful? Did we get to the heart of it?
Yes. And so basically so
let's say there's someone who's really been a rascal, and you have felt really terrible about it ever since you found out about it. But when you look over there at that other thing, you don't feel terrible. So your vibration rises because you're not actively involved in this thing. And so you have discovered forgiveness. Who'd you forgive? The other one or yourself? It's like giving up on what's binding you. And so what we always say to people is, don't do it for them, do it for you. Nothing else will do for you. Don't do it for them, do it for you. And once you've done it for you, and you've done it for you, and you've done it for you, then you can look at them and they will receive the benefit too. Yeah.
Yes, I did realize that I only damage myself when I have this grudge and this bad feeling.
Jerry used to do a demonstration. He would push really hard on something. He would put as much pressure on it as he could. You would see his muscles bulging, and he would push and push and push and push as he was pushing against this unwanted thing. And then he would say, but look what I've done to myself. He was applying equal pressure against himself in the process of it, you see. And so you just can't get around it. You want to feel good. You should feel good. The larger part of you does feel good. And sometimes you find really unnecessary excuses not to feel good. But what's the point of that? Well, the point of it might be that it causes you to realize that you want to feel good, and it helps to activate your awareness of the value of your own guidance system. But there has never been anyone who has improved any situation by pushing against anything. The harder you push against something, the harder it pushes back at you. The more you shout no at unwanted things, the more you perpetuate those unwanted things that you do not want. This is a universe based on attraction, and there's no exclusion. So when you see something you want, you say yes to it, you invite it and include it into your experience. And when you see something and you shout no at it, you invite it and include it into your experience. And once you understand that, and you stop trying to make the world a better place by bossing it around, you stop trying to control things so that in the what you think would be improved conditions, then you can look at them and feel better. And instead you accept that you are the creator of your own reality, and that you are free to choose the thoughts that you think, and that the thoughts you think are powerful, and that law of attraction responds to the thoughts that you think. Oh, then you're off and running. Then you are living life as you intended when you made the decision to come here to begin with.
All my life, I've been struggling to be the number one for somebody. And I always ended up number two. Always number two for some reason. And I think I got it wrong. Like, I shouldn't be number one for someone.
Never mind the numbers for a moment. You're just looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
You're not only number one with your inner being, you are everything. Your inner being is giving undivided attention to you. And so when that's the relationship that you are seeking, then that craving will dissipate. But when you're trying to get it from a place that it's not supposed to come from, you're never going to find it. It isn't until you understand what the feeling of alignment is, and what the feeling of wholeness is, and what the feeling of being loved is, and what the feeling of love is, and where it comes from and why, then you can find it, and then you can maintain it, and then you can rest in that steady, satisfying connection always, you see. It's an interesting thing, because when someone physical is in alignment and they're holding you as their object of attention, it feels so good. It feels so good. And then you want that from them. You want them to look at you that way and flow their connection through themselves to you. It feels good. But then you're needing them to always be in alignment, which no one ever is. And then when they look at you and they're not in that alignment, and you feel that emptiness, then you misunderstand and you think that either there's something wrong with you, or that they are not loving you like they should, when it is not any of that. It's you looking for love in all the wrong places. It's you looking for something that your inner being is offering. And so when you understand what your primary relationship is, and you're able to stay well connected with it, then you can be of advantage to everyone else.
Yes. So basically, I was looking for the feeling of worthiness from others to say you are worthy, and I didn't realize that I should give it to myself.
And
right?
how could they know? How do they know what life has caused you to ask for? How can they know? So this subject is asking a human to replace my inner being. Asking a human. And so I'll do the dance. I'll stand on my head in so many different ways so that you will like me. And what happens is you ask from them something that they can't sustain, and you give to them a distortion also. Because if you are always one who pleases, then you teach others that they can find it in humans when they can't. Sometimes there will be a really lovable person in your life, and so it's so easy for you to love them. But then it makes everybody else seem out of sync, because first of all, nobody else is going to hold you as their undivided object of attention, as maybe this one did. You don't really serve others by deciding that you will keep them happy. You serve others by being happy and demonstrating how it's done. You don't be the source of their happiness or the reason for their happiness. But when you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, then you provide a clear understanding for them of what happiness is. And through the life that you demonstrate, you help them to know how you accomplish it. And sometimes you demonstrate it when you're not happy. In other words, by being real to them and helping them to understand that you've got this alignment thing going and you've got it going pretty good, but you're not always in alignment. And they aren't either. And so then others have an opportunity at least to understand what you're striving for. But if you're letting others hold the power or the key to your happiness through their approval of you, and they want different things from you at different times, and different people want different things, then you're just sort of lost all the time, because you're not pleasing them, because you weren't born to please them, and because there are too many moving parts. We really want you to feel the perfection of the way this all works, the source that is you, that remains non-physical, and the you that is you, the personality that came into this physical body. We want you to feel how through the exposure to contrast, you became more and you expanded into this vibrational beingness, and your inner being is right there too. We want you to feel the satisfaction that your inner being feels as you expand, and the expansion that your inner being experiences also as you and your inner being expand together. And then we want you to feel and focus just a little bit on what it feels like to you when you find the vibration that your inner being is projecting, and you practice noticing what that feels like so that you sustain it on a regular basis, so that what life has caused you to ask for, you are now in vibrational sync with, and now it is demonstrating in all manner of being for you. We want you to feel how so many things that you've lived through life, and even before you came into this physical body, are all queued up for you to discover, for your delight, and in many cases for your surprise. And we want you to feel the perfection of what is amassed there because of the unfathomable pieces of the components that you've put there. There is a vortex that you have created that equals the perfection of the joy that you seek. The point that we're making is no other human could ever begin to please you like the receiving of what you've created can. We say you're looking for love in all the wrong places. You're looking for compliments in the wrong places. You're looking for satisfaction in the wrong places. It's all right here for you to receive. You must become whole. It's your wholeness that you're reaching for. It's your wholeness. It's the whole of you that you want to be present at any point in time. And we can feel that you got this. We can feel that you came along with us in this conversation. And we can now feel that you are feeling how really sort of silly it is to walk up to somebody and say, please like me. When you've got all of this that you've created, that's ongoing from lifetime to lifetime, that holds your inner being and source energy and is focused right at you, unequivocally at you, with every detail that you've ever asked for, right there for your satisfaction. And all you got to do is just feel your way to it and feel your way to it. And then allow life to demonstrate that you found it, as it demonstrates out in more than just a feeling, into experiences and conversations and words and things and experiences. In other words, just blossoms right before you as evidence that you aligned with who you are. Can you feel how it all fits together? You were source and still are. You came into this body, you chose more stuff, you put it in the vortex tended it and expanded it and gathered the cooperative components, and your inner being is right there, and all of it is loving you and flowing to you and showing off for you and being vivid for you. And here you are, just tuning yourself more in every day, because of meditation mostly, until you come into alignment with who you really are. And then in that alignment, it comes into the physical manifestation. The thoughts that were created by the life that you lived now become the things that make up the next platform from which you will launch more rockets of desire, and on it goes. Eternal, never-ending, joyful expansion is what we are all about. Life is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to feel really good to you. And if it's off, then it's off. But now you know what. We've enjoyed this interaction more than any words that we can offer could ever explain to you. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain in your vortex.